Alright, so the D9000 MIL-2 kit is our combination riveter kit that includes 4 riveting tools, a hand mechanical tool, a hand hydraulic tool, an air hydraulic tool, and a battery operated cordless riveter. The kit also includes the Cherry Max grip gauge and an instruction manual on how to set up each of the tools. Underneath the PT4000 are the special Cherry Max pulling heads, the right angle, the extended straight, and the offset. Now we will do the D700 demonstration. So the D700C is set up for blind Cherry Max riveting. And the way the tool operates is you insert the rivet stem and pump the tool. And then to release the rivet stem, you push in the release button and the stem drops off in your hand. Now, to convert this to add the special Cherry Max pulling heads, we have to remove the front end of the tool and then select either our right angle, extended straight, or offset pulling head, depending on what the application is. So the first thing we do is remove the nose tube and the jaw holder and the jaws. And then we take the F187 adapter and the F187 AR rotating sleeve, and then selecting our right angle pulling head, we engage the inner thread first before engaging the outer sleeve threads, and then we screw that in until you get just a touch of resistance, which is right about there. Now we move our jam nut and tighten that against our adapter sleeve, and at this point the head can rotate 360 degrees to whatever position is needed. To adjust the rivet, and actually it's in the proper position, but in case you were needing to, you would screw the anvil down until the rivet stem. Now you have immediate engagement with the jaws when you're pulling the rivet. And again, at this point, you insert the rivet into the hole and pump the tool. And now the rivet stem is here until you hit the release button, and then the stem comes out in your hand. Therefore, you're in control of the FOD. We'll now set up the tool to install blind rivet nuts. So to do that, we'll remove this right angle pulling head. And the adapter. And then what we are going to do is get our F170 adapter master shaft and our turn nut. The first thing we do is thread on the master shaft. Then we take the nose tube, place it back over that, and then with the opening facing away from the tool, and there's a D-slot with a flat, you put the turn nut on like so. Then you select the thread size that you're going to be installing. Today we're going to do 1/4 20. So that has a left-hand thread, so it threads in the opposite direction. And then we have the anvil that slides into place and is kept there by the turn nut. We then thread on our blind rivet nut, place that in the material, and then collapse the fastener. Now, as soon as that's done, we release the pressure, and then we use the turn nut to return and back the mandrel out of the rivet nut. This tool also has a pressure adjustable valve, and when riveting you want it all the way in, which is 5,000 pounds of pulling force. But for blind rivet nuts, you can reduce the pressure, the pull pressure, by backing that screw out to flush. And from that point is 600 pounds of installation force, and then you would increase it each revolution until it collapsed the rivet nut. Therefore, if you're using small thread diameter aluminum riv nuts, you won't pull out the threads. Okay, the D700 handle grip can be adjusted for people with smaller hands, and that is done by simply taking your Allen key with the adjustment screw on the back of the D700, closing the handles to whatever is comfortable, and then turning that set screw to lock the handle in place. Now, it takes additional pumps, but it's much easier on a smaller hand size. And then to release it back to the full grip, just turn that out and the handle opens the rest of the way. So that's how you adjust the handle for ergonomics. Okay, so now we're going to put convert the D700 over to install rivet nuts. We're going to take off the jaw holder and the jaws. We're going to put on the master shaft, the turn nut. I'm going to remove the nose piece from the nose tube, and we're going to use a special setting gauge. So that is installed on the tool like that. Then we put the master shaft turn nut on. Then we select the thread size. We're going to use 1/4 20 today. This is a left-hand thread. And then that's now set up for 1/4 20 rivet nuts. Thread on the 1/4 20 riv nut. And then what we do is we install one part and we collapse that into the material. And then what we do is we move this screw using this guide here to match the top of the internal puller shaft. Therefore, in the future, when we release that and we pull it, it will travel that distance, and we know that we've upset the rivet nut correctly. So now we'll set up the PT4000 for blind riveting. The tool comes set up just like the other tools in the kit, ready to install Cherry Max up to 3/16 diameter. So to operate the tool, we insert the battery pack, and then by pulling the trigger, it actuates the tool. So to pull the Cherry Max rivet, and then the stem passes through the tool, and the FOD is caught in the canister in the rear. Now, we can also add the Cherry Max nose piece, the H701B 456 pulling head. To do this, we would remove the nose tube and the jaws and the jaw holder. We'll keep the jaw pusher there. We will add the F187 adapter, overcoming the spring pressure. And then the adapter sleeve. And now, taking the H701 pulling head, which is a collet, a spring, the jaws are in the collet, and an outer sleeve. First we add the spring into the puller shaft, then we line the collet onto that, thread that down hand tight, and then check the jaws, make sure there's good spring tension, and then we put on the outer sleeve. And thread that down until you get some resistance again, right there. And then you tighten your jam nut. Now you've added the straight 701B 456 Cherry Max head to your cordless riveter. What this allows you to do is when pulling the Cherry Max, it will retain the rivet stem and hold it so it can't fall out into your work area. And there again, the stem is held here until the next one pushes it through. Now, if you want to add either the extended straight pulling head or the offset head, we use this adapter configuration. So if you're adding the offset or the extended straight to the cordless tool, you use this adapter configuration. If we are going to add the right angle, we need to use the compensating adapter shaft, which has additional travel because the travel of this pulling head is only 5/8 of an inch versus the tool, which almost has a full 1 inch stroke. So to do that, remove that outer sleeve. Now we want to remove the jaw follower and spring because otherwise it will keep the compensating adapter from being able to compensate. Now, again, we would thread on the internal threads first. Pull that kind of out and turn until that engages. And you can see the inner shaft turn. Then you engage the outer threads. again until you have some resistance. Right there. Then you put your jam nut in place, and now you can turn that to whatever position you need. And there, now you have the entire pull of the tool, and you will not damage the thread of your right angle pulling head. Now, going from Cherry Max, we can also pull blind bolts with this tool. So we go to a different configuration of the jaw and jaw holder for blind bolts, which are the MS 90353 and 54 series. So we're going to need to put our spring back into the tool. We don't use this follower because that's for Cherry Max. We use the F3245 jaw follower. And we have to get out our jaw, 3-piece jaws. And the kit comes with a 532 jaw set and a 3/16 jaw set. And then we have to get also the jaw housing, which is the F128 jaw holder. So we'll install a 3/16 diameter part today. So we're going to take the jaw housing, jaw holder out. And then we're going to take the 3-piece F123B jaws.
Okay.
So we're going to take the F123B jaws and drop them into the jaw holder. And I use a rivet stem, or you can use a pick or anything else to align them. Then when they all are in there, we place them on the tool. And you can see that these jaws are flush with the top of the jaw holder. Then we take our nose tube and we're going to remove the nose piece. So we're going to remove our Cherry Max nose piece, and there's a wrench included with this tool, and you can place that on the nose piece. Threads are a little rough on this one. So we're going to remove the Cherry Max nose piece from the nose tube. Then we're going to select the 3/16 diameter blind bolt nose piece from our nose piece bar and thread that into the nose tube. And then place that on the tool. And now you're ready to install blind bolts. And there again, the jaws hold the stem until the next one pushes it through. You can hear it drop into the canister, and now you're ready to install the next one. So, all right, so that's the operation of the PT4000 cordless riveter. So the PT100 riveter is an air hydraulic riveter with a 2-trigger system. The operating trigger, which is the smaller one, and the release trigger, which releases the tool once the rivet stem has broken. So operating, release. Now, if you have large hands and you hold them and pull them both together, the tool just goes into bypass. So we don't want to do that. So to install a rivet, you come over the stem, pull the small trigger, And then again, the tool holds the rivet stem until you release it and it drops into your hand. So this tool is only for blind riveting. You can't do any rivet nuts with it. But we're going to switch it now to add the Cherry Max pulling head. So you're going to need to retain the spring here on the tool, because that's how it retracts. So thread that on hand tight. Take your rotating adapter, thread that on. And then this time we're going to use the offset pulling head. Again, we're going to fully thread the internal puller shaft before engaging the outer threads. Now, as we turn the tool on, we're going to watch this gap close. And you want that gap to be about just a little bit more than a thumbnail width. And then you tighten your jam nut, and again, now you can rotate the pulling head to whatever position you need. So now when you come over the rivet stem, and you pull the trigger, the operating trigger, it holds the stem there, retracts, and the next stem will push it through. So that's how you use the tool with the special offset, extended straight, and right angle Cherry Max pulling heads.
Okay.
All right, so the D9000 kit includes a manual as well as a breakdown on how to set up each of the tool systems. So if you're pulling a Cherry Max rivet and the part numbers are listed here, and you wanted to go to the cordless tool and set that up, you'd go to chart N and flip through here to chart N, which is right there, and it would show you how to set up your tool for pulling Cherry Max rivets. And it's done this way for each of the tools in the tool system in the D9000 kit. Again, we have the hand mechanical tool for small diameter rivets, nut plate, pull through rivets, and 1/8 inch Cherry Max. We have our air hydraulic riveter, our hand hydraulic riveter, our cordless battery operated riveter. The kit comes with metric riv nut capability and imperial, both fine thread and coarse thread. The kit also includes the special Cherry Max pulling heads, right angle, extended straight, and offset. And these can be adapted to any of the riveters in here with the F187 AR rotating adapter. The tool kit includes 2 batteries and a charger, and then all of the different nose pieces required for pulling Cherry Max, nut plate rivets, MS rivets, monobolts, which are commercial rivets, bulb tight rivets, which are also commercial rivets, and T-rivets, which are commercial rivets used in ground support vehicles. We also have our A-code Olympic lock rivets, 3/32 through 3/16, and then our NAS 1900 pneumatic rivets from 1/8 to 3/16, and then our blind bolt, both 5/32 and 3/16. All the spare parts and jaws are housed in the canisters here, with additional spare jaw sets and springs for each of the tool systems. And that is our D9000 MIL-2 riveter kit.